Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday after quite a volatile Monday. Hopefully, there's no fake news coming from the White House today. I am just getting my chart set up here. Well, not getting it set up, but resetting it up, I guess, or refreshing it. I was up last night looking for something in London, but did not find anything. Asia and London both ranged last night. Good morning. I'm a little quiet this morning because I was up last night and it's snowing here this morning, so it's just going to be like one of those days. Anyway, let's see what the market will deliver today. Okay, I just want to go through my chart. Just going to start on the higher time frame. I'm just making sure that I have all of my sibbies and bissies in place. I'm going to take 50% of this wick here on the day, one of the daily candles. We might already be at 50% here. Yep, we are. So I'm going to put 50% consequent encroachment of daily wick. And I'm also going to do the same on the other side. Just take the fib from this wick top, this wick to the bottom. And put this 50% here. That kind of frames yesterday's day kind of nicely. So 50% wick to the top half of yesterday's candle. So we're already there. Price is already there. And then 50% of the bottom wick. It was a pretty small range candle yesterday. Okay, so that's the daily. We go to the 4 hour. We have our settlement price from yesterday. We have a new day opening gap here. So we have a 4 hour, couple of 4 hour bissies here. That's better. Okay. Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, you too. Okay, so previous day low and a point of interest, which is the bottom of this wick. Previous week low, settlement price from yesterday. SIBI on the 4-hour here, which price is approaching. We also have a few 4-hour SIBIs above. Hey, good morning. We are below Sunday's open price. Bringing this 4-hour along here with us. Okay, now I'm going to go down to the 1-hour. Here's our midnight. We have a couple of hourly fair value gaps here. We've got one here. Good morning, VP. Good morning. We got snow this morning, so it's a little bit of a setback here. Yesterday I was ready to ride my e-scooter outside, and today it's snowing, so. Okay, so we got an hourly busy there. You know, that price action overnight kind of feels pretty similar to what we had yesterday. So basically a balanced price range, except for a few bissies here. Let's just walk it down to the 15 minutes. So I woke up last night to see if I could find a trade in London. What I was looking for was the manipulation, and I would have taken like 1 or 2 contracts to go along. But Asia and London ranged. I took a small loss. I entered here, right here, and then somewhere around here I exited for a small loss. So it would have come down. It might have swept my stop out on this one. Maybe next time I'm going to have to move my stop loss, give it just a little more room to breathe. And this was at 6 o'clock this morning. So I was in the trade over here at 4:15. This is when somewhere around here I exited, thinking that price would move up here to this 4-hour SIBI, which it is. I didn't have a lot of confidence in the trade because London, normally London sweeps a high or low of Asia, but it was just ranging last night. It wasn't going anywhere, so I just decided to exit that position. So anyway, I'll see you another night if I can find that area of manipulation. But sometimes when we have accumulation in both Asia and London, manipulation happens later, like in the next session. So this could be manipulation. I'd be interested in hearing your feedback on what you guys think, if you think maybe manipulation is this far delayed. I'm just not sure. It's not so obvious to me this morning, let's put it that way. But price does seem to be pushing for this 4-hour SIBI up here. possibly this is what's left of the opening range gap from last Friday. And here's the other one from Thursday. I'll just pull this over. Pre-market high, we'll just get rid of that. So we have previous week high up here. And we'll push these along. Okay, so that's our 15-minute. Let's just jump down to the 5-minute for a second. So let's see, 17,701 to 7,8. So that would have been a nice little run up this morning. I'm going to try that another night. I'm going to try just trading with one micro and seeing if I can find that area of manipulation and just get in with one and hold it until at least New York open. Hey, good morning, Mike. Yeah, manipulation is usually like, it's not before 1:30. From my understanding, it has to be after 1:30. So let me just drop this in here again. So here's midnight. And then let's drop in our horizontal. Right here. Like I was just observing that the price action this morning is pretty similar to the price action yesterday. It's pretty much balanced price range. We have a few fair value gaps on the hourly and 15-minute price range, but I'm just going to take this off here. Yeah, this is where I got in here, thinking that manipulation was here, so that was around 220. And then price moved up, and I was in the trade all the way up, and then it started to come down, and I was getting like, this doesn't look too good. We might, we might come down even further. But anyway, it is what it is. I took a small loss, so that's fine. Okay, so let's put in our pre-market here. So let's find our 4 a.m. Here's 4 a.m. And 9:30. And pre-market low. Just going to make that a different, excuse me, I'm going to make that a different color this morning. Make that a little bigger. So that's our pre-market low. And so far this is our pre-market high, but we'll adjust this as we go. Okay. And let's just drop onto here our new week opening gap and new day opening gap. Now this previous day high up here, this is where we wicked up to yesterday at 10:15, this huge wick up here. Were you guys on the charts yesterday afternoon? I took like a 7-minute trade yesterday afternoon for 234 points. It was like literally it was minutes. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. No, it was a short. It was a short I was in. So it must have been 11:10. Might have been like around here. Might have been this wick here. Anyway, it was, it was just like one of those coincidences that I was going short because I was thinking that price would return back to that bearish breaker, and then all of a sudden, like, it was like a wick from a giant ocean squid came down. It was amazing. Okay, so here are 50% wicks down here. There's the other wick. Okay, I lost it there for a second. And this one. I'm gonna make them a bit darker. Okay, so those are our wicks. So the 50% consequent encroachment of yesterday's wick. Let me just make that a bit bigger for you guys to see. So from this candle, we had a wick. So this is the 50% consequent encroachment. And then we had the long wick to the top. And here's the 50%, which we've just crossed. So those are our two wicks from today. We have a lot of new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps up here because, of course, price has been dropping for weeks. So there's a lot of liquidity left up here. That's too bad I didn't stay in that trade last night. I always say that when I, have a pretty good idea where price is going, and then because price was ranging, I just didn't have confidence in the trade. Note to self. Anyway, I'm gonna take a look at London again tonight. We'll see what happens. But tomorrow, so there's no news today, guys. We have FOMC member daily speaking at 2 p.m., but I don't really care about that stuff. And then tomorrow we have FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m. And then Thursday we have core CPI. And then Friday core PPI. Okay. Any other thoughts for the day, guys? Anything that you've got on your charts that maybe I don't have, or any thoughts what you guys might be looking for today? I'm overall curious to see what price action is going to be. It's 9:24, so we're 6 minutes off from open. I'm curious to see whether the volatility continues into today. Let's put on here our settlement opening range gap. So here's our settlement price from yesterday. And we'll just bring that up to current price. And I gotta double check that I have that right. Settlement price from yesterday. Yep, here we go. The last candle closed at 4:14 yesterday afternoon. Okay, so opening range gap. And I'll just drop the date on here in case we don't completely fill it today. Pre-market high. Right to just under the 4-hour PD array. This is what I was hoping for London last night. Like, I thought that down here would be our manipulation and that London would go up to this 4-hour. That's interesting. Well, let's see what happens. So pre-market low and pre-market high. 4 hours, so higher time frame PD array. And previous day high, pretty much at the 50% of this 4-hour SIBI here. So that's a very strong area for liquidity. Previous day high and 50% of a 4-hour PD array. And if we have delayed manipulation, we could have manipulation here and price could fall. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. So it's 9:27. I'm just gonna move down to the 1-minute chart now. So here on ES, I have a point of interest up here at 56.51. That's still a long ways up, but that is an area where we had price repeatedly try to get above that level, 56.51. Anyway. Okay, 9:29. I'm going to put my little lines up here for Scarface 5-minute candle strategy. Just going to move my 9:30 vertical line over just so we can see that first candle open. Hey, good morning, Tandy. Just going to drop a fib onto our opening range gap this morning. Here's our 50%. Got a little rejection off this 4-hour SIBI here. So we swept London high, we swept Asia high, which basically they just ranged. That's why I'm just wondering if this is manipulation this morning and then price is going to drop. But I don't know. Be interested in your feedback. Of course, price could go up and then continue going up, but at some point there needs to be manipulation. It could be manipulation to the downside here at 6 a.m. It's a possibility. Anyway, I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts and opinions on that. It's not always obvious. It's easier when London does something, like, takes the Asia high or low, then it's easier to identify. No news Tuesday. There we go. Now I'm on the 1 minute. I was on the 5 minute there. Okay, let's just take a bigger look here. Okay, this candle is the opening candle. The green one is the opening candle. 9:30, 9:31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so 9:30, 31, 32, 33, 34. This is the last candle forming now. Tandy, usually, usually it is not so much a session high, but manipulation has to occur or should occur after 1:30. So it doesn't occur before 1:30 a.m. And then, like I say, yesterday we had accumulation in both Asia and London. So this could be manipulation here at 6 a.m. or we could be seeing another manipulation up here. You know, to go lower, you got to go higher first. But price could just continue to, you know, move up. But usually manipulation looks, it's a very definitive movement. Like you can usually define it. It's like either a nice big wick or two candles side by side, you know, one down and one up, because smart money is trying to induce investors, traders into the market, right, by fooling them. So it's usually like a sharp move up and down. Okay. So we've wicked this 4-hour SIBI, which is a nice area of liquidity. Have a new day opening gap down here, plus that would sweep London and Asia lows. So this could be the sweep here. Potentially. See if we get a pullback here. That was fast. Maybe give it a little bit more time. Let's take a look at the first fair value gap. I don't even see the first fair value gap. Matthew, am I missing it? I don't think I am. Maybe wait for more displacement first and then a return. It's hard to know. Anyway, it is what it is. Matthew, in ICT's, not his last video, but the one before that, I think it was that one, he said that if the first fair value gap is like really, really small, you can use some discretion in not using that first one and then using the next one. Did anybody else remember him saying that 2 videos ago? So there's a nice fair value gap. And here's our opening range gap, what's left of it from Friday. And here is previous day high, which is right almost exactly at the 50% of this SIBI, just above it. Yeah, thanks, Matthew. 9:35 and 9:36 candle. Jamie, thanks. Let me take a look. $9.35 and $9.36. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie, your attention to detail. You and Matthew, thank you. There we go, Sibby. So we'll mark this one as the first presented. I was looking at this breaker block, high, low, higher, high, lower, low. Although I prefer to see bodies instead of wicks, but high, low, higher, high, lower, low, and tapping into a higher time frame PD array. Just something to consider. High, low, higher, high, lower, low, and price comes up. Can also look at it this way. It's 9:50. Morning, XMT. Yeah, Jamie, it's a good point. Wicks on the 15-minute. Let's take a look at the 5. I just want to check the 5-minute high and low. So this is the high, 5-minute high. Right here, it's a 5-minute high. Candle up, candle down, and then the low is candle down, candle up. Right here. It's a 5-minute low. This candle has 24 seconds till it closes. It could make a run for 50% here. It could make a run for this leftover org from Friday. This did not close above the 5-minute high. This is a high. And this did not close above this high. We're failing to make higher highs in here on the 5-minute. That's a good point, XMT. Lots of wicks to the downside. Yeah, it does look like a battle going on, doesn't it? Don't love it. In case you guys are wondering, I'm at the gym working my patience muscle right now. And it's painful. Okay. I think what I really need is a coffee. This is previous day high right here. Okay, well that was painful, guys. Sorry to have to put you through that. At least there was no loss. It was just, I'm not great with patience, and it's snowing like crazy out. Oh my God, it's a snowstorm. I'm not like a really patient person, so when I have these opportunities to kind of like flex my patience muscle, it's a good thing for me to sit in my unease. So we've tapped the opening range gap from Friday, what's left of it, because we tapped a little bit of it yesterday. Right here is previous day high. So I think we're kind of like flirting in this area here, see if price wants to go above. But to Matthew's point, I think it was Matthew who said we are a long way from midnight lows. I wish I'd stayed in that. I wish I'd stayed in that stupid trade. Where was my trade from this morning? Is it here? Yeah, right here. Here's where I exited. I should have just stayed in it. My stop loss was just below here. This might have knocked me out, but that would have been a nice run up. I'm gonna look again, see if I can take a trade again tonight in London. See what happens. But anyway, let's see if we can get it's 10:25. Yeah, Mike's like watching paint dry. I felt like I was walking through cut glass. So like the price action is pretty similar to yesterday, like in terms of there's really no fair value gaps. Like, I mean, there's not the wicks that we had yesterday, but it's like Mike said, it's like watching paint dry. It's a grind, right? Well, let's see if we can See, we're in a higher time frame PD array, which I really like. That would be a nice setup for a breaker. And let's see what we have here on ES. And I was so stubborn about staying in it because we had the 5-minute break of structure. And so that's like my trigger for getting into a trade, that 5-minute break of structure. I thought I did okay holding in through these retabs on this fair value gap. Watch, like maybe it'll go up to this new day opening gap. I tried my best to hang on. Oh, that was a sharp move down. It's difficult to determine where it really wants to go. Like obviously we're in an area of high liquidity, this 4-hour SIBI. We've got this opening range gap above us that's still untapped, and then we have all of this new day opening gap, all of this untouched because price has been dropping, right, for a couple weeks. So, well, at least a week since March 30th, April 2nd. It's just not great trading conditions, you know, like you want to see price move and you want to see it move with some authority. That's the 5-minute. Let's just check. I just want to go to wick. It's a nice curve up from this morning. Just going to check and see how many points I missed out on. 18,371. Say we got in around here, 17,710. Ugh. Okay, that's 600 points. 661 points from the time that I exited here to where price currently is. So even with one contract, that's $3,300 with very little downside, right? Like I lost, I think it was $150. And if I had just stayed in the trade, because I had a pretty good idea price was, you know, I had a pretty good feeling that price was going to come here because we accumulated. And we spent yesterday down here, so it's kind of a natural thought that price would be drawn up here. It's always easier in hindsight, isn't it? Okay, so on the 15 minutes, let's just take a look here on the 15-minute. Where are we? So we're in this SIBI here. The new day opening gap starts here. Pretty choppy through here. Like this is high resistance liquidity, right? There's no fair value gaps here. So this is all high resistance liquidity. I wonder if we'll have a nice play this afternoon where price may, we may see a nice reversal. Well, Tandy, that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes, right? But I'm happy I didn't take a loss. I hung in there. I flexed that patience muscle a little bit. I mean, it's all part of the personal growth. and like I think it's to Matthew's points, price has already traveled a really good distance. Price isn't going to go up forever. So I'm keen to look for a reversal this afternoon. I would consider that something to look for. I agree with you, XMT. At this point, it's mental capital, right? Do you want to hang into a trade that's it's pretty garbagey, right? The amount of energy it takes out of you mentally, might as well just wait for a really nice setup, right? And even if it does get to target, it's just painful, and it could turn around any time. We could have a big wick down any moment. No fair value gaps. This is the 5-minute. But the whole premise I took the trade is because I am trading the 5-minute break of structure. Okay, so I saw here's the 5-minute break of structure for me right here. Let me just make this a little bit clearer. And how do you get better at these trades? Well, when you see the trigger, you get in. So here is the high. So we have an up candle followed by a down candle. So here's my 5-minute. Here's my 5-minute right here. Okay, so up candle followed by a down candle, and you take the highest point of the two candles. That is the high. And then we broke high, not with this candle. We did not break the break. We did not get the break of structure on the 5-minute with this candle. It is with this candle. This candle is the break of structure, and then you go down to the 1-minute time frame as per the strategy, and you look for your entry. And my entry was off this BISI. So I adhered to my strategy. I did what I was supposed to do. You guys know it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out every single time, even if you execute perfectly. But I stuck to my strategy. I traded my strategy, and I didn't take a loss. I didn't get a great win, but you know what? Maybe this afternoon I will. Maybe tomorrow I will. But I gotta keep trying. When I see my setup, I'm gonna take my setup, because we're here for the probabilities, right? I'm just gonna move this opening range gap just down a little bit here because we filled the top portion of it. So I'm just moving that down a little bit. $600 points. Okay, well, I'm looking for that manipulation again tonight in London. I want to wake up to 600 points. So I'm just still here on the 5-minute. It's just choppy chop. Yeah, it does, doesn't it, Matthew? It is respecting this BISI. But I think, like XMT said, you can just get out of it. You didn't take a loss, that's fine, and then just wait for the next good setup. And again, to Matthew's point, price has traveled a long way. Price has already traveled 600 points. So let's take a look at our power of 3. So down here in London, so this power of 3 candle opens at midnight. And so this morning when I entered the trade, this candle was actually black, because the whole idea is to enter the trade on either the bottom wick or the top wick, because it's that's what the power of 3 is, right? So you want to get in here, or you want to sell up here and then ride the candle down. So I did everything correctly this morning. I got into the trade, and this portion of the candle was black, which is what I want, right? So I want that. It looks bearish right now, but you get in at the very bottom, and then you have a framework or a hypothesis for price to go higher, which is what I did. I got the price higher right part, but what got me stopped out, I'll show you guys where I got in. Right here. Twice. So I got in here, bought here, and sold here, and then price started to come down. So then I was like, okay, maybe this was manipulation up here. Maybe I've got it upside down, right? So that led me down a rabbit hole, so to speak. And then this is when I exited. And then, of course, just as I exited, to Tandy's point, price came up. It came down one more time. So I think here is manipulation this morning, and that is at 6 a.m. And that's the start of the run-up, 600 points. But this is what I'm looking for at night when I have this power of 3 candle up. I am looking for the point of manipulation. And maybe what I should do is tonight, when I'm looking for that, and I entered on the 5 minute. I didn't go down to the 1 minute. I was looking for the 5 minute. So anyway, that's okay. But here it is. There's the 600 point move. Like I say, even with 1 micro, it's $5 a point, right? So it's 3,300. Sure, Mike. When you download the power of 3, and here is what it's called. HTF power of 3 by 2 degrees. And I find like a lot, many of his indicators, they're like the really good ones. So 2 degrees, HTF power of 3. And I believe it already comes, you can frame it. So as per ICT, midnight is open for each day. For every 24-hour period, midnight is open. So this one is set, set the open of the daily PO3 candle at midnight New York time. So it already comes set up for you, Mike. You can change this. You can use the power of 3. You can use a 4-hour candle, right? So the New York, the day session is open for 2 4-hour candles. So some people use some traders use the power of 3 for trading the New York session during the day. But I like to take a look at London, find the manipulation, and as long as I'm correct in the direction of where price is going, and that comes from an analysis, my Sunday night analysis, or even Monday, you can change the color of the bodies here. And then it gives you the open, high, low, close price. And then it gives you the information here. 1 day, New York open, candle power of 3. This is how many hours it's been. I think this is a countdown from midnight to midnight. I think that's what it does. And then it gives you the range in dollars. So this was, 688 points since midnight. So anyway, it all comes ready for you, Mike. It's not like IKEA furniture. You don't have to put anything together with this one. So that's your power of 3. And, I have it turned on and off at several times during the day because I want to see what the daily print of the candle is. I want to see. Now, for some of the traders, like if you follow Omar, or if you follow Mulhand, and he's who I learned, both of these gentlemen, I learned power of 3 from, like they're kind of like my mentors. Their whole premise is if they don't get in on the wick, they're not taking the trade for the day, because I'm going to see if I can I'm going to show you guys something here because this is going to explain it really, really well. Hang on one second. Here we go. This is going to explain it really well. Okay, so this is from Kyle. I'm sure all you guys know Kyle, right? So here he's talking about power of 3, and he's got his candle here, and this is how you can think about it. So let's say price is bullish, okay, like it is here. When you enter on the wick, meaning you're entering down here, you can't see to the left, but you're entering down here at somewhere around manipulation, okay? You're trying to figure out where that manipulation is. When you enter down here, you're entering at the most efficient price, right? You would agree? You're buying apples down here for 10 cents, and then you're staying in the trade all the way through here until it closes. Well, it reaches a high and then it pulls back. This is what a bullish candle does, right? So we have open, low, high, and close, right? So if you buy in here in the middle of the candle, which if we look at the candle right here today, we're already, this was the open of the candle, right? This is where the candle opened close to midnight. We're already up here on the candle. We're already up here. So if you enter kind of like in the middle of the candle, your price is not as efficient. Your apples are now 80 cents each, right? Down here you bought them for 10 cents. Here you bought them for 80 cents. If you enter the trade up here, right, to go long up here, well, this doesn't make any sense, right? Because this is the most premium. This is where you want to start selling. You want to then look for the wick, right? And you want to get in on the sell. So this is the whole premise of power of 3. And I'll show you another slide if you guys will indulge me, just so that for those who are not familiar with power of 3, you can get more a sense of what it is, what it involves. Okay, so the whole idea is you want to get in. If the candle is bearish, you want to get in up here on the wick, and if the day is bullish, you want to get in down here. There's no, you can, for if you want to get 10 points or 15 points, well, there's nothing wrong with getting in here. But these guys who are making, like the big bucks, they're getting in at the most efficient part of the day, which is when manipulation happens. Okay, so that's enough on that one. I'll just show you one other window, or one other, just to hit home this concept here. Okay, now this is Mulhand. And this is how you can take the concept of the power of 3 from the daily to the weekly, okay? So you can, and this is what I like to do. I'm still learning this, but so here is Monday through Friday, and some of the traders are trading the power of 3 based on the weekly chart. So here is Monday, which is traditionally our range day, right? So we would watch price. So we're trying to identify when in the week manipulation happens. And if you study ICT in his 2017 mentorship, he talks about the weekly and daily frameworks for the trades. And if you haven't studied that yet, it's probably a little more advanced, but you probably want to get to that because this is what he's talking about. So Monday we range, we consolidate. Tuesday, this is where manipulation happens. Tuesday is the low of the week. Okay. And then from here, you just need to go long if the week is bullish, if that's the framework for the week. So you can not only try to identify the accumulation manipulation on the 24-hour using Asia and London, but you can use the same premise and build out your framework for the week. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. Excuse me. So let's just take a step back here. Let's go to the hour chart, okay? Go to the hourly chart. And let's open up sessions. So if you go to events, you click on session breaks here. And then this gives you, it's a lot on my chart, but in the evenings when you're sitting in front of your computer, you can say, okay, so what did price do Monday? Well, price made a low Monday. So we've established that. From the low on Monday, price moved up into Tuesday. We consolidated overnight in Asia and London, and then we've made another move up. So this is where I came up with my framework, right, for going long this morning. Plus, if you looked on the daily candles, this morning's candle was building inside the range of yesterday's candle. So that helped for me to come to my conclusion that price is going long. So far, Monday is the low, okay? So if you had even just bought a couple contracts here, this is the whole premise that you can ride the majority of the power of 3 candle for the week. Anyway, that's just, sorry if that was a big fat explanation rant there, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys that, because I talk so much about power of 3, and it's very easy to get down in the weeds when you're trading. You know, you're only looking like at the next hour, the next 2 hours, but when you start to look at the market in terms of how the market makers move price, not only on a daily basis, but a weekly basis. And then, of course, you can look at that on a monthly, right? So, okay, so that's my long-winded answer for you, Mike, on the power of 3 candle there. So it looks like it's 10:49. We've got a little bit of a price drop here. Okay, just want to see my 5-minute break of structure here. So my low is here. I'm gonna move this. So that's my low, high, and this is my break of structure to the downside. I don't like the time of day, it's 10:50, but high, low, no, this is a mitigation block. Low, high, lower, low. This is pre-market high, this blue line here. Just going to move my power of 3 candle because I already know, like, let's just take a look here. Sibby. It's my 5-minute break of structure. Mike, that guy 2 Degrees, who I use his indicators. He has a whole suite of indicators. Like once you start noticing some of his indicators, they're all like the top ranked indicators. So we've already had a 5-minute break of structure, so I'd like to see price maybe just return, but it's 10:52. The session indicator I'm using, hey, good morning, AC. Session indicator I'm using is 1 second. ICT kill zones and pivots, and I like this one. I've tried other ones. I like it because I like to adjust the times. I like to adjust the colors. You can also remove the Asia high and low lines that are on your chart. You don't have to use their lines. And it also has here high-low separators, day of the week. You can have the day of the week at the bottom of the chart if you want. It gives you a lot of options. Really love for this to pull back so I can get in on short. Good morning, AC. So look at that balance price range on the 1 minute. Same kind of really tight price action. Inside this bearish breaker here, there are no fair value gaps, so it is a low quality breaker. I just wanted to point that out. Guys, I'm not going to stay in this long. I just framed this as a break and retest. Price came below, retested here at the pre-market high. It just really simple break and retest. Nothing fancy. Knowing that, we have this org below. We've already explored and exhausted up here. Time of day is, we're not at that lunchtime reversal yet, but anyway, it was just kind of a, throw it out there and see what happens kind of thing. Here's my 2-to-1 right now. That's it. 2-to-1. Didn't want to stay in the trade too long. It might come down here, but it might flirt around at the pre-market high. So that's it for me for this morning. I am going to, so see, it might come back up here, but anyway, straight, like really simple break and retest. Any major level that I have on my chart, pre-market high, pre-market low, session high, session low, previous day high, previous day low, I will take a look at that and just kind of assess if that makes sense, if order flow is in that direction, and if there are other confluences to support that framework, then I don't mind taking a break and retest. This is a nice play off the fair value gap. Oh. Anyway, it's 11:10. You know what? I'm done. I don't like this price action. It's like B-roll. It's B film or C film, I guess. Okay, so that's it for me. I'm gonna cast my eyes on the charts at around 1:30, see if there's anything. But other than that, I'm gonna be hunting for something in London tonight. So I think I'll just call it a day. And thanks for joining me, guys. It's always fun. And I hope you have an enjoyable rest of the day and be safe. Peace out.